Now, who are the members? The members first must be Hakka. You know what is Hakka? In Chinese, there are many other dialects. So, we have Hakka, Cantonese, okay. Yes. So, this is basically for Hakka. Second condition, all the members, they must be the owners of the tea mine. We call them the Towkay. And the third condition, this is a gentleman's club. It's meant for the gentleman. One of the rules, wives cannot come in. But there are certain group of ladies can enter. Later I'll explain to which group. Piece of glass in the middle already broken into pieces. Luckily we managed to glue back the pieces like jigsaw puzzle. Can you see the crack lines?
Oh, yeah.
In those days, you expect to find all these types of eating utensils. We call this the enamels, coating, plates, saucers, and cups. So this one, if dropped, it won't break, unlike porcelain. And now I would like to introduce this gentleman up here. His name is Leong Fee. This is the founder of this club in 1893. So Leong Fee came from China, Guangdong province, a district called Malaysia, in the year 1876, when he was 19 years old. And he became a very successful tea mine owner in the late 1880s. And his mine was in Tambun. What was called Tambun? In the year 1893, Leong Fee built this total of double-story shophouses, and then he turned this unit into this Hakka Miners Club. So that he can get most of his Towkay friends to come and have fun together. But at the age of 55 in 1912, Leong Fee passed away. And left behind how many wives? 4 wives and 2 concubines. Concubines we call Bijeh. The whole. This middle one, we call this the model bucket chain. This is just the model. And a bucket chain is part of the tin dredge. Tin dredge is called kapal korek. So this one real bucket is huge and heavy, above 1 ton. And this chain of buckets can go down as deep as 130 feet down. And one day non-stop, it can extract to 15,000 tons of earth a day. That's a lot. Here we have Teapot and Tea Cups. Now this is to tell you that many years ago, there are so many races that have this disease called cholera, penyakit taun. Except for Chinese, because those days the Chinese believe if you use this teacup to drink tea, you will not get this disease at all. But we know this is not the actual reason. The reason is because before we make tea, we need to boil water. That's why we cure the germs, and not because of using this teacup. Now this middle shelf is all about testing. We need to test the ground, see whether there's enough tin for us to open up a mine. So we're going to send this group of people we call prospectors, pencari gali. So these prospectors will go and locate the spot, and manually they will drill more than 100 feet down. And every 5 feet along the way, they will collect just a sample soil and put inside this bamboo container, denoting different level 5 feet down under. So then this container will be sent back to the engineer to test how much tin down there. If it is high, then can open up the tin mine. This will save time and cost. For info, tin are non-magnetic. So when they test this sample, they need to use the magnet to retrieve all these magnetic minerals like iron and nickel. We call this the elimination process. This bottom shelf you can see on my right hand corner, various bottles containing different types of minerals. Now in the ground, you don't only get tin, you get all sorts of minerals. Okay, like zircon, ammonite, manatite. And those days, all these minerals is actually the byproducts or waste. Okay, they push out after extracting all the tin concentrate. And there's one word recognizing all these waste. In those days, we call amang, A-M-N-G. And doesn't mean that these waste, they are not useful. They are still very useful in many other industries. This corner here, we call the tin money is from the 14th centuries until 18th centuries. And during these centuries, there are no coins, no notes, no currency. All these are real tin money. They are used as barter trade, souvenir, ornaments, and for lucky charms. And you see the corner, that square lump of pyramid tin money over there, it was in the 14th century. Easily weigh 3 kilo. Tin is very heavy. You guess what's the value of that piece in 14th century? It was worth 5 cents. Not today's 5 cents. 14th century 5 cents is actually quite a large value, 5 cents then. And about all this animal-shaped tin money, why are they so? Now we locals and Asians, we believe everywhere there are spirits. We call penunggu in Malay. So we need to appease the spirits. Okay? So if we, let's say we coin the Chinese prayer, the Chinese will conduct a sacrificial ritual by sacrificing rooster, fish or turtle. And eventually when they produce the tin, they will form some into the animal that had been sacrificed as a souvenir. This crocodile belongs to the Muslim prayers. The figure behind, everyone says it's a dragon, but it is not. It is a goat. Kambing. So goat is a sacrificial animal for the Muslim prayers. Now elephant tin money is special. We don't sacrifice elephant because elephant resemble a big and strong animal. So after making that piece of elephant tin money, we will put beneath the pillars of this tin miner's house at a tin mine. This is just another superstition. Because we believe in doing so, this will strengthen the tin mine for growth and longevity. Now you see all these attractive tin monies in those days when the traders come by boat. They love to exchange their food and stuff with all these tin monies. But this does not last. Why? After filling up their boats with all these tin monies, the boats became so heavy. So when most of the boats went back downstream, the boats actually sank. This is where the tin money ended up, at the bottom of the river. Now look at the container we call crucible in the 19th century. That container can withstand very high heat and it is used to melt the tin. The melting point for tin is 230 degrees Celsius. So once the tin is melted, then it will be poured onto the stone mold to form the animal-shaped tin money. Now what about the boiling point for tin? It's up to 2,600 degrees Celsius. So now we shall move on to that section over there. $1 one day in 1930. Is this a big money? Oh yes, it is a very big money indeed. What if I tell you this $1 in the year 1930 can buy you 100 sets of meals a day? You need to say 1 cent, 1 set of meal, what can you get? A plate of Hakka noodle, a piece of yam cake, and a cup of Chinese tea. And it's filling. So today's price, what do you think this set costs? 10 ringgit? So you, 10 ringgit, let's say. So you must be earning 1,000 ringgit a day in order to earn back your 100 meals. What kind of job give you 1,000 ringgit a day? CEO perhaps. The risk of the job is extremely high because they are entering into virgin jungles, places they have not been before. So they expect to meet up with many dangerous animals and dangerous situations. Animals like tigers, wild boars, elephants, crocodiles, and even bitten by mosquitoes and then get malaria, dengue, and also may encounter landslide, rockslide. So we shall move on. Section, this is like a container. The tin is heavier, so it was sinking. So tin was sinking. So whatever these workers is doing is actually extracting the tin ore, the sunken tin ore in that section into the bucket and bring it down. So the waters will carry on whatever left, that is the waste, we call the waste or byproducts, out from the system into the ponds and also into the rivers. So when it comes to the river, over here, you get to meet up with this group of ladies. We call them the dulang washers. Dulang means the wooden pan. They are using the wooden pan to work in the river to retrieve all this whatever leftover tin ore escaping from the structure. In the year 1920s, there were about 7,500 dulang washers in Kinta Valley. Each dulang washer must carry a permit. They have to pay $1 for the permit, valid for 1 year. And they are all ladies, no guys, because the guys are stronger. They are needed in the mines. Over here, this coolie who works in a mine in the year 1930s, his earning per day is between 7 cents to 10 cents only. And his job right now is never easy because he needs to carry buckets of stones, clearing stones from underground up. And this one bucket easily weighs 25 kilo. And he needs to carry 2 buckets at one go. That will be 50 kilo. Have you ever tried carrying 50 kilo before? It's very heavy. So I'm going to introduce pestle. This is an insect pump. Okay, we use this pump to kill flies, mosquitoes, and cockroaches. This is for washing clothes. And if you look over to this cupboard on top, we have two cans of this washing detergent. Brand is called Fab. Inside this glass case, you can see we have this lovely bottle called Fraser and Neat. Now it's known as F&N. You can see it's garnish and Harvey. No powder, snow friendly, and Milo tea, almost similar as today. Whatever that we not want will be channeled to the back and to the other side of the land. And further process of that waste we call amang. Okay, these are amang comprising other minerals. The color, the texture, the weight is quite close to tin concentrate. All these 3 buckets we call rubber buckets, which can withstand the weather, rain or shine. And also for information, rubber buckets in those days also used as toilet buckets before the flush system. So nowadays, for a sign. Opium is one of the drugs. Third, prostitution, we call this the oldest trade. And fourth, secret societies, gangster, mafia, yakuza to the Japanese. Now let's come to secret societies first. In those days, some of the members in this club, they are the secret societies leaders. We have 2 notorious gangs. One gang is called Bijeh, another gang is called Haisan. So these 2 gangs were based in Taipei. So when they see each other, they will fight like cats and dogs. Even today, cats and dogs also they fight. And when they recruit new members, the new members will have to go through a ritual. So what's the ritual? Pricking their fingers, drop their blood on this bowl of chicken blood, and then from the same bowl the new members drink to become blood brothers or sworn brothers. We call this in Malay adat sumpah. So after drinking this bowl of blood, the new members will be given certificates and diplomas as a recognition of which gang they're in. Or like Portugal says in play. Now coming to prostitution, all these 3 pictures here, these are all Japanese prostitutes. In the year 1920s, Ipoh has 180 Japanese. From this 180, 50 were Japanese prostitutes. But why Japanese? Because in that year 1920s, the economy in Japan was very bad. So many of the ladies that came out from their country to Asia to entertain the British, the Chinese, and the Asians. And they are known by the Japanese as Karayuki-san. So please look at this lovely Japanese prostitute. Her name is Okiku-san. Okay, the most beautiful prostitute at that time. Do you agree with me? So if you wish to know more about her story, you can scan this QR code here and read her lovely story. So if you are lucky, you can see her contact number. This picture showing a group of Japanese prostitutes that were praying for their dead sisters during this festival called All Souls Days, known as Qingming in Chinese. And this Japanese cemetery until today still exists in Ipoh, a place called Wuntong. Of course, there are bad times. During bad times, they have no customers, yet they still need to eat, survive. So they can't do anything else besides begging in the street. And they became beggars. So she's Okiku, same person. Now coming to opium, I will tell you more over here. Now this opium section, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We call this the opium base. Okay, where you're supposed to lie down like this model and enjoy smoking opium. Opium, like cocaine and morphine, if you use it properly, is for pain management and also to control your cough. But most cases, all these smokers, they will abuse this substance and eventually they became addicted. And once they're addicted, you can see them continue smoking until their body becoming so skinny up to their bones level, and the worst case, this drug will kill them. Inside this glass case, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opium pipes. With this larger container pipe, this is where you're supposed to store water. And if you use this pipe to smoke, you feel very cooling. And all these smokers here, they're all very high in the days, having all this beautiful fantasy. What happens if they get thirsty and they want to drink? They cannot afford to pour the teacup, sure miss. So it's very simple. They just pick up this teapot and directly point at the mouth without spilling a drop. And there are plenty of phlegms and mucus which they need to spit out. So each smoker is given a personal spittoon for them to spit out. Now this kerosene lamp over here, the function of this lamp is to heat up the opium. Opium is a gluey, sticky substance where you place on top this container. So once the opium is heated up, it will give out a vapor. So this guy is actually sucking the vapor from here all the way up to his mouth and enjoy the opium. Where does opium come from? It came from this flower called poppy flower. You see the purple color flower? Once the flower drops off, it will leave behind the green color poppy pot at the center. So this is the enlarged photo of the pot. So at this stage, what you do, like rubber tapping, you take knives and cut lines, and then you can see slowly this white sticky liquid we call sap coming from the openings. From this picture, you can see the dish color liquid sticking on the surface. Now those are opium, ready to be consumed. If I take this whole pot and I slice half, inside contains thousands of poppy seeds. So you can take these poppy seeds and plant more opium plants. Do you know that poppy seeds can be eaten? You make lemon poppy seed cheesecake, you sprinkle on your buns, muffin, and it's one of the good spice in making curry. In Malay we call kas-kas. So this will enhance the curry flavor to make it delicious and to make all of you want to go back for more. Don't worry, it's not addictive, it's delicious. This bottom corner here will display 4 different types of pillows. We have the wooden pillow, rattan, leather and porcelain pillow. And the most popular one is this porcelain pillow. Why? Because it's solid, it's cooling, and also at the side there's one hole. Now the hole here, there's a reason for it. This is where these rich members here can put their monies and valuables inside the hole and then sleep on it, not worrying anyone stealing their belongings, because they are so high already they want to sleep and start fantasizing. So with their money next to their head, they feel comfortable. So this is one evil, and now we shall proceed. The famous Timah owners, the Towkays. Okay, let me already introduced Leong Fee, the founder of this company, his son, Bijeh. Look at this fearsome guy here, his name is Towkay Leong Fee. He has no fears because he's a gangster leader, and the gang is called Hakka. Even though he's a gangster leader, the British has given him a very high post, powerful title, and the post is called the Chinese Cabinet. Mr. Towkay Leong Fee son the last Chinese capital in Perak. Now all these Towkays here, they are no longer in this world, except for one person, who I forgot his name. He's still around. This is a younger generation. His age today, I think, is 87 years old. I also call these Towkays rich tycoons because they are very rich and also kind-hearted. Why? Because they contribute a lot back to the societies. terms of donating land, roads, schools, and hospitals. So we can call them the philanthropists. Few of them went back to their mainland China and also helped to develop their home village as well in China. Now, during the Japanese occupation in Malaya, World War II, the Japanese currency at the time was known as the banana money. So we have real banana money inside this glass case. You can see over there. Which is called banana money because you can see on the piece of $10 note, that's the picture of the banana tree there. So we call everything the banana money. The rest of the gambling sticks for the members to enjoy. So from here, I will introduce 4 different types of games. This middle table here, this is a game we call fun. This is the mahjong. On my left table here, this is called Chinese domino. On my right table, this is called the deep cast Russian poker. And this middle table here, this is a name we call Fantan. F-A-N-T-A-N, Fantan. So I'm going to teach all of you how to play Fantan right now. It's a very simple game. So you see on this table there's a bunch of river stones and the numbering in Chinese 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you do, you take this bowl, randomly you cover a bunch of stones. And now you can start to bet which number you like. So after placing your money down, hands on, this bowl is then removed. Now the rule is very simple. Every time take away 4 stones. Okay, no more, no less. So you are betting on the balance. So let's try 4 at a time. 4, 4, 4, 4, final 4. So the balance is 3. So this is number 3. So this is the winner, and this winner takes all. So there's only one winner at a time. It's a very simple, straightforward game. So you all can go back and try. Very simple. Can't find any river stones, doesn't matter. You can always buy peanuts and banana chocolate. You can eat nothing goes to waste. When the police come, everything goes down. Look at these windows here. We have actually restored these windows back to the year 1930. Because when we came in 2013, these were all metal frame windows, which was done in the 60s, and it looks horrible. Later I'll show you the picture. And you have these 2 corners, these are the original basins, the old caps, the two candle holders, and the top 2 is to hang towels, the towel holders. Now coming to this mahjong table, in case these players that feel like it's still not bright enough, it's very simple. They just need to pull this lampshade down, okay, until their view is brighter. So this is the pulley system. With the old fan, this is 1 set. So we have 3 sets, which are still in good working condition. It's a solid, steady, and windy. I would like to introduce this gentleman up here. His name is Mr. Lee Yang Chong. He was the former president of this Hakka Miners club. He just passed away last year at the age of 95. He's the son of one of the tycoons over there, Mr. Lee Ipoh. Top row, second picture from the right, Lee Ipoh. This board is about the celebration of this club 100th anniversary in the year 1993. As this club was born in the year 1893. And we have 2 equipment here. The top one is the radio by this brand called clubhouse. The bottom equipment we call drama flow. So these 2 equipments cannot be used anymore. But in those days, if you want to listen to the radio, you must have a license. $12 in 1939. Okay, valid for 1 year. And here we have 2 bars for the members to enjoy. So this is a water filter, wines, ice bucket, sake, Japanese liquor, Chinese liquor, old liquor boxes, and this is what we call the horse feed. And why we have this horse feed here? Because in those days, some of these rich members, they love to ride horse as a hobby, as a leisure. This lazy chair we call the planter's chair. So let me show you how this chair works. You see this arm extension here? You can swing this arm and extend it longer. Same thing with this side. So once extended, you're supposed to lie down and you rest each leg on each support. Can you imagine both legs wide open and relaxed? It's very comfortable, but ugly. Okay. Over here, this money frame, all the money inside here, they are not real money. They are just specimen. but the sizes are this big. So if you look at this piece of 1,000 straight settlement dollar, it's the year 1919. So those people who can afford this piece of notes are all these rich tycoons. Just now I was talking about $1. This is 1,000. 1,000 can buy you plenty of properties. For example, in the year 1909, you can buy a piece of short lot land for a price of $20. In 1920s, you can buy a shop out there for a price of about $20,000. And after a century now, you guess how much one shop out there they're selling today? At least 1 million. So I suggest you buy a shop at 1 million right now, and then you wait for another 100 years, you will probably go to 50 million. Go further down. Further. You go. Kaladi, and each shape looks like the abacus beads. So to the Hakkas, they say after eating this dish, you all would know how to count, more money to come. And another dish is called the Hakka Tofu. This is a Hakka signature dish. So every time during big festival, this dish will be served on the table. We also have the salt baked chicken, pig trotters in vinegar, and drunken chicken. These two dishes are especially good for the ladies after giving birth during their confinement period, to regain their strength back. Then the only dish without meat is this Teapot and Tea Cups. So this is the dish I was telling you that just now the top floor the lady was making. And the green soup is very good for your health. Ingredients comprising basil leaves, mint leaves, herbs and nuts. And the taste is very strong. Okay, either you love it or you hate it.